I never wrote things down to remember. I always wrote things down so I could forget. I really like this quote. We can't remember everything, but if we write things down, it will help us remember them in the future. Although I did read one of my old journals a few years ago, and I didn't even remember some of the things that I had written down. But since I know I'm an honest person, I believe those things really did happen to me. When people think of journaling, they usually think about writing about their life events on a regular basis, daily, a few times a week, weekly, monthly, etc. People often start and then don't continue. There are many options to recording your experiences that might help you be more consistent in some aspects of journaling. This video will give you a few ideas that might help you enjoy recording your life experiences. You may want to write about spiritual feelings or events you have had. Sometimes these are very private, and you may not want to share them with others at the time. But you may want to be able to remember these thoughts, feelings, or events for the future. As you read your scriptures or a thought-provoking book, you might want to record some of your thoughts and ideas. I was given my great-grandmother's journal. She recorded some of her thoughts on different pages in her Bible. For generations, many Bibles have been used to at least record important events like birth, marriage, and deaths. Some people might choose to write about things that they are grateful for or wonderful experiences they have had or seen others have. When we are grateful to God in our circumstances, we can experience gentle peace in the midst of tribulation. In grief, we can still lift up our hearts in praise. We often have impressions, thoughts, ideas, or dreams that we might want to record so we don't forget them. I don't know how many dreams that I have had that I wake up and I can remember only for a short period of time. I have recorded a few, but I think this might be something I can improve on. You may want to write about your school experiences. This could be broken down into experiences from elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or trade school. You might just want to write about one specific subject you are learning about, or about a specific class. I had a required class I was to take in college, but I really didn't want to take it. I waited until the very end of my degree to take the class, and it turned out to be one of my most useful classes. I loved the class. I wish I had taken it semesters before, so this might be something that I would want to write about. As we learn a new skill or develop a hobby like cooking, playing an instrument, or quilting, we might want to keep a journal of what we learned, the process of what we did, and add pictures. I have friends who quilt. Some of them have pictures of every quilt. Each picture has a description of when the quilt was made, materials they used, who received the quilt, etc. They also add their name to the quilt, so in the future those who end up with the quilt will know who made the quilt. How about a garden journal? I have had a garden for years, but I have never kept a garden journal. This is something I would like to start. Keeping a map of what I planted and where I planted it, and recording when I planted them, what seeds I used, along with details of the seeds like the company, the year on the package, who I received the seeds from, time frame of the harvest, the yield, preserving, etc. There are a few years that I had some really good yields with delicious vegetables. Since I have not recorded anything, I usually can't remember, and I just plant new seeds in new areas. I also have been trying to harvest seeds and save them for the following year. Recording if those seeds do well will be helpful for me in the future to know whether that was a good harvest of seeds. Vacations and trips are often memorable, but with time we forget the details of what we did and who we saw. Keeping a travel log and recording details can help keep these memories alive. My daughter has loved drawing since she was young. We have kept many of her early sketches, drawings, and paintings. I can tell you a few things about some of her artwork. but it would be better if she recorded who the pictures were of, why she drew them, and what medium she used to create the artwork. This picture of an eye was done in her junior year of high school. She won first place for the school district art show with this watercolor drawing. For professional artists, this is a must to have a portfolio to share with information and images of their artwork. Holidays are often fun family events. You might want to record just the holiday events each year, like going to the pumpkin patch with friends. Or how about parties and the foods you made or that you ate? People don't write letters as much today because of social media, but writing a letter to others is a form of journal writing. Here are letters written to me from my father and my mother. My father generally wrote his letters by hand. My mother typed her letters. My father liked to add quotes in his letters. I type a letter and email it to my family every Sunday. I recently found these old letters from my parents. I've been typing one up each week and sending it out with the email letter to my family each week. This has been a lot of fun for my siblings and myself and our children. This is fun to see when we are mentioned in these letters. Many people are keeping records and don't know it. Using social media is a form of journaling. Emailing, blogging, texting are also included in this. The biggest problem is that much of this will not be accessible in the future. If someone you know has recently passed away, search for their social media accounts and try to keep a record of what they posted and wrote about. If you want others to be able to access your social media accounts after you pass away, make sure that they have a record of your login information and know where to find it. You must remember that your story matters. What you write has the power to save a life, and sometimes that life is your own. I am anxious, and it soothes me to express myself here. It is like whispering to oneself and listening at the same time. Preserve your memories, keep them well. What you forget, you can never retell. Enjoy recording.